Listen to us. Noticias. Noticias. Deportes. Deportes. Programas especiales. Listen to us. Música y arte. Música y arte. Cultura. Cultura. Eventos y actos. Listen to us. Escucha Radio Colegio Virgen del Mar. Virgen del Mar. Escúchanos.
Hello, dear friends and listeners of our Virgen del Mar School Radio. I am Saimara at this side of the radio with Isela and Eduardo, all of us students of Bachillerato in this center. Today we are going to interview one of the most special guests so far this year. To the audience at the other side, thanks for staying tuned to this program.
Greetings to our beloved followers of our program. Today we have the pleasure of introducing to you to Mr. José Luis Vera. Some of you might not know him well, but he is one of the main reasons we speak English so well.
Hello, listen to we explain a little bit of more to you. 14 years ago, the former headmaster and the founder of our school, Mr. Manuel Chinea, decided to count on Mr. Vera to implement what is today our bilingual program. What they didn't expect at the time was the success of this complex and pioneering program.
And now we are back, so let's focus on Mr. José Luis Vera and let us tell you some brief information about his long career. Mr. José Luis Vera has always been a teacher. He started teaching in 1970, and still today, after retiring, he is committed to the training of language teachers. His first experience was in adults, then in primary, and joined the university in 1987 until his retirement in 2008. After his stay in the UK in the 1973 to 74, he started his cooperation with the school, where he had conversation groups at midday.
Listen to us. Noticias. Noticias. Deportes. Deportes. Programas especiales. Listen to us. Música y arte. Música y arte. Cultura. Cultura. Eventos y actos. Listen to us. Escucha Radio Colegio Virgen del Mar. Virgen del Mar. Escúchanos.
Mr. José Luis Vera, it's an honor for us having you here today. So, we know this place is like a home to you, and we would like to know what are your relationship between you and this school, because we have also been told that you even taught English to our headmaster, Mr. Alberto Chinea.
Yes, thank you very much for allowing me to be here and sharing these ideas with you all. Right, yes, it's true. In 1974, my friend and colleague, Don Manuel Chinea, phoned me and asked me to give conversation classes at midday. Well, I had a job in the morning, midday here, and adults in the evening. So can you imagine? I was running the whole day, but that was youth. Right. Conversation classes were not typical at all those days. In fact, they were quite revolutionary. But I knew how to give a conversation class because in the previous year, when I was in Britain, this is what I did. I couldn't teach grammar or translation, and that was the typical way people learned languages in those days. So I was lucky to experience here what I experienced before, the year before. So my stay in the UK changed the whole thing. So I could never be a traditional teacher after that experience, because I experienced communication, and to me communication is the way to learn a language. So that's why I was so happy to join the school in that time. So I was here for 2 years, and later on, as you know, 14, 15 years ago, Don Manuel again phoned me, and he said, why don't you help us to start the CLIL program? CLIL, as you know, is teaching a subject in English. For example, something that was supposed to be given in Spanish was given in English. So that meant a good challenge, I would say. So would you like to know exactly how we started and why the pros and cons we had at the beginning?
Yes, if you could give us some in summary, because we know it's like a very big process with a lot of parts.
Yeah.
And it's years, like as you said, 14 years
Yes.
of process. So maybe you could make a little summary.
Yeah.
We will appreciate it.
Right. So the first thing we have to say, as we said it in the written interview for the newspaper, this is not really a miracle. Something new wished us to experience new ways of learning and teaching. So the first was convincing the families to introduce a new methodology, a new way of learning not only languages but mathematics, science, natural, drawing, etc. So even physical education. So for parents that was a risk, a tremendous risk. And I remember, and Don Domingo might remember them as well, the meetings we had with parents. We had long and tiring meetings with parents in order to convince them of the benefits of this pioneering program. So at the end of the second meeting, I think during a week, so we had 2 meetings in a week. At the end, we closed up the meeting saying, okay, why don't we put this in proof and see what happens as an experience, all right? So we were convinced about the benefits of it, because obviously that was the case in Canada, also in the northern part of Europe. And so all we said is something that has been a benefit up there for so many people, why not here? And we said, okay, why don't you give us the opportunity to experience it? But the agreement was, at the end of this month we will meet again and see about the progress of that particular program. They agreed, not all of them, but the majority agreed, and also we made this. That was quite democratic as a choice, and so we started it. We had the second risk and the second challenge. I mean, how to train the teachers to implement it. Obviously, they were used to other methodologies, but not specifically this one. So we started meeting teachers every week in order to solve the problems or difficulties found in the process. I observed them in classes, and later on we commented the pros and cons of that observation, and from that moment onwards, things were taking place and replacing in the right position, you see. So learners were the third risk. We had meetings with the learners, even with the small ones. You see, we are going to do this, we are going to do that, and the benefits are this and that. Obviously, we have to take it slowly in steps, and you will see the results in time. And things were positive, luckily, otherwise we were not being here really commenting all this. And the program has grown as it has developed in years, you see. So nothing, we cannot compare this pioneering program to the beginning of its evolution, you see. So it's now different. Things are now normal or normalized. I mean, parents want the children to be taught in English, but it didn't happen at the beginning, as you can imagine. So I don't know if I have summarized it properly.
Yes, properly.
More or less. Thank you.
When we talked to you the first time, you told us something about communication that we very interesting, and that we will not easily forget. You say a language is felt, and the learners. Can you explain to our listeners what you mean with this sentence?
Yes. First, before I go into your question, I would like to stress something that is linked to that reflection and also interesting. For example, I am a teacher since I was 6 years old. You cannot imagine why. A teacher, Doña Candelaria, asked me to help her with slow learners. I was 6. So I discovered my element, my passion when I was 6. The second part is that I was pretty lucky to have a German family living just besides my home. That German family opened my heart to languages. So that's why I'm talking about passion. Passion for languages, as I loved the sound of that language. I don't speak any German now, but you see, that opened languages for me. And Doña Candelaria opened my teaching life. So that's the reason why I am a language teacher, right? So if you connect being a language teacher with feeling the language, it's basically the same. I say feeling because when we approach a new language, you have to feel it positively, not as a threat. So the language is not attacking you, it's opening windows to you. So that's why in my experience, a language must be felt and then learned. Do you remember when you were children, your mother hitting you with a language? I mean, no, pronounce it well, repeat it again, and killing you while you were learning it, hitting you with a language, correcting you all the time. They say, imagine that time, and you see why you speak Spanish, and you feel Spanish. That happens with or must happen with a foreign language. So you must receive it, start learning it, trying to pronounce it, to say something that is coherent and cohesive, and they understand me. That's good. Understanding and communication is essential. There are two ways of understanding communication: perfect communication and fluent communication. One comes before and the
Sorry,
second.
Mr. José Luis Vera, well, we will come back after 30 seconds.
Sorry.